Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Under the Pomegranate Tree. I'm your host, Brother Ateiq, and today I am joined with my younger brother, your brother, mashallah, Raihaan Abbas. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing, okay?
I'm good, man. How's it going?
Alhamdulillah, thank you for having me on. Thank you for having me
Yeah,
on.
you're welcome. You're welcome. More than welcome, mashallah. You're the man of the hour nowadays, isn't it? Yeah.
No, barely the man of the minute, don't worry.
Mashallah. Listen, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'll be quick because I know it's past your bedtime and that now, yeah? It's getting a bit late. You get me? I don't want your dad phoning me saying, bro, where is he, bro? Bring him home.
You know, I got that the whole campaign. You know, it's knock doors. He used to say, "Does your dad know you're here? Did the headmaster let you out early?" Stuff like that. Trust me, I got a lot of that in the campaign. Yeah. It's all good fun though.
Yeah, I got a few for you then.
I don't know. I'm ready.
So you know when you go for like these council meetings and that, does your mom still make you pack lunch?
You know, the worst thing is sometimes, yeah.
Standard, bro.
I take little sandwiches, man.
Yeah.
It's expensive down there, okay?
I'm almost 40 years old, bro. My mom still makes my lunch sometimes. You get me?
Always mom's cooking.
Standard.
100%.
Big up, mommy.
100%
Yeah.
always.
So what's your favorite bedtime story then? Is it still Goldilocks and the Three Bears or what?
Only sometimes. Sometimes I like Little Red Riding Hood and stuff. Depends on mood I'm in.
Yeah.
Depends
How
on
old
the
are you
day.
anyways, bro?
22. Alhamdulillah.
22.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. When did you graduate?
My bachelor's, I graduated 2024 when I was 21. Yeah.
Okay.
Currently doing my master's, so
So you
finished that inshallah.
So
this year.
are you a lawyer now or what?
I am technically a paralegal. Obviously, a lawyers are either a paralegal, a solicitor, or a barrister.
Okay.
The aim is to be a solicitor and then further on down the line become a barrister. But for now, I'm a paralegal, so I can't give anyone legal advice and so on and so forth. As long as I have to go back to my boss to check is everything good.
Okay. So you still got the training wheels on then?
Yeah, I still got the training wheels on, but
Yeah.
he gives us a bit of free roam sometimes. Takes one side off, sometimes two sides off. But
Okay.
he's trained. We're trained by the best in the business. So
who you work with, Ahmed? And that?
Ahmed, yeah. So I work for Akhmed Yakoob, yeah.
Okay, mashallah.
Yeah.
So he's teaching you all the loopholes and that.
Yeah, he made the loopholes.
So how much did he pay you to get into politics?
He hasn't come through yet, you know. But there was a milli waiting for me on that. Nah, sure. Nothing. You know, I gotta give him a lot of credit. You know where he found me? A lot of people don't know this, but they actually found me in a corner shop. Found me in a corner shop. So me and Ahmed's parents live on the same road.
Yeah.
Okay, so he used to live there before. I used to work in a local corner shop called Best One, and he came in one time, and obviously this is when I was doing my degree, and I asked him for a job, and he turned around and he goes, "Are you one of the idiots who's been knocking on my door?" And I was like, I got so confused. I was like, "What are you on about?" And he goes, "Just because I got a Lamborghini doesn't mean you can jump from my..." Because what it was is the local neighborhood knew that was him. So the kids used to come out and knock on his door, and he thought I was like 17 at that time. I was 18, 19. But yeah, and then a couple of weeks later, his nephew came in, overheard me talking to someone about how I want to do criminal law. His nephew said, "Okay, come on Monday, you got a job." Started there. They gave me 3 months probation. They said, if you don't prove yourself, you gotta go. Unfortunately, that's just the pace of criminal law. And after 3 months, alhamdulillah, I'm coming up to 3 years now. I've been working.
Okay, mashallah, good stuff, man, good stuff. So, where did you study uni in that?
So university, I went to Coventry University. Good university, don't get me wrong. It wasn't my first choice, but COVID kind of impacted my A levels. So I went to King Edward's Aston for school. I went there 7 years. Looking at Manchester, looking at Warwick, looking at these types of places. Allah had different plans for me. And the truth of the matter is, if I did go to Warwick or did go to Manchester, I would have moved out. If I moved out, I wouldn't have been working where I was working, because I was working there whilst I was doing my degree. So in that time, I would have been in Manchester. I would have been
That's the best of planners.
Exactly that. So when the time came, obviously people said to me, resit them. And I thought, you know what, law's already long enough.
Yeah.
Let me just jump in. Allah made my way for me, and alhamdulillah. I always used to say in school, you know, in school when Ahmed first started making videos, I used to say, I'm gonna work for him one day. I'm gonna work for him one day. I'm gonna work for him one day. Like, I promise you, you know, even when he didn't have a lot of followers, I said, he's gonna be my boss one day. And we nah. Then I went through 100 different people to work for him, all his friends, his family, everything. Everyone's like, yeah, I know him very well. I'll get you a job. Sitting there waiting. But when Allah makes a way for you, man. Allah makes a way for you.
You know, I was with Shaq the other day, and was it like on Chandrat or something? Just before he came and linked you guys on Lady Road.
Yeah.
And he called you and he says, "I'm with Ateiq," remember?
Yeah.
And what was that call about? Can you remember?
Probably getting shouted at for something.
No. He says, "Oh, it's Ateiq. You gotta go down to see him. You gotta come down to Darul." You get me?
Yeah, 100%.
And then you came down to the the
Ackers.
event,
Yeah,
the Ackers
yeah,
event.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, how did you find that?
It was nice. It was nice. It was obviously it was homely is the best way to kind of put it. You have
Yeah,
families that is no one cares who's there, no one cares who isn't there. You just kind of take your kids out. It's either celebrations. I wish, hopefully for next year, bigger and better. The only way is the way is up,
yeah.
and
It's been getting better year in year, right?
yeah, yeah. I've actually, I think. I don't know if it was a year before. I think I bought one of my auntie's kids here or something like that. Just because I was driving past and I saw it, you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But not really involved in this side of stuff. Obviously, I've got no kids myself.
yeah,
But honestly, genuinely, people are happy. That's a good thing about it. You know what it is. We're living in a time when nobody's happy anymore. And like I said to people all the time, the weather. Then you guys dark at 4 o'clock in the winter. Like everyone is in a bad mood. Cost of living, potholes on the road, this, that,
yeah,
everything. So it's nice to see people together. Sun was shining. People were laughing.
yeah.
My hay fever went crazy, but otherwise it was a good day.
So the reason why I mentioned Shaq and that, because I had Shaq on the podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, Shaq's been like active on that for quite some time now,
Mm,
and I'd done a bit with him when he was doing all the protesting and stuff back in days outside the schools.
okay.
And then I thought I owed it to him to have like another conversation with him
Yeah.
because I never really supported him as much as I should have back then. And then he was saying then, I gave him a bit of stick, when he was sat where you are now
Mm,
about bringing on all these, youngsters coming into politics. I said, bro, they've just finished school. They don't really have much experience and whatnot, what they're going to bring to it. So he did sort of fight your case, quite well actually.
yeah.
But if I could just ask you, Masha, you're 22 years old,
Mm,
you're still young. Okay, alhamdulillah, you got your head screwed on, you got a
yeah.
good career aspects in front of you. What brought you into politics then?
So politics is something I was always interested in school. I think we learned a lot about politics at school because our school used to actually teach us that your vote matters. You're preparing the next generation. If they don't know what they're voting for, you're gonna come out and follow the whole brotherly system, the whole parent system, and this and that.
Mm,
So my school is very dedicated to everyone should know what they're doing in life and you live your own life. You go, I mean, you pull
mm,
your own reins. So I knew a fair bit about politics. So then when Ahmed announced in 2024, I was only fresh new working at Morris Andrews then, and he's talking about politics, this and that, and then I disagreed with him on something. So I had it like I had that confrontation because I wasn't that type of person who just sits in the corner and just doesn't. And then obviously we went through it, and he didn't know the best about politics at the moment. He knew a lot. Don't get me wrong, he didn't know a lot. Some
mm.
things here and there, and then that's where I was like, okay. And then he understood. I knew a bit about politics. I love talking, and in my opinion, it's a great form of sadaqah jariyah. So I've always said in my life is I give a lot to giving. So like end goal, you know how people say end goal, I want this big car, this big house, this big that. My end goal is to make sure I got schools, mosques, wells across the world. You know, in these poor places,
Mm,
I want to dedicate my life to charity, and this is a form of charity. And you know, whilst doing it while I'm young, first of all, I engage the youth a lot more. So the youth are more likely to listen to the youth than they are to someone who's 30, 40 years old who they know is getting paid to tell them something. Like sometimes I can go outside right now, those kids are kicking a football. I can go play football with them for 5 minutes. They're not gonna care because they're gonna think I'm the same age as them. They'll have a conversation with me,
mm.
and our youth are neglected. We're gonna be the next zakat givers for Gaza. We're gonna be the next zakat givers around the world. There's so much riding on us because there's gonna be a time when obviously you guys are gonna go. We're gonna go after you, obviously, but when you guys go, we are in charge. We're meant to be running things, and we're in a place now where people are running things for their own pocket, for their own power, for their own minds, and if we don't get involved, who is? And I had two very good influences with me, and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did
yeah. How much of an influence did they have on you though?
a
That's what I
lot,
want to like
a
ask.
lot. So when I first joined, a lot of people used to, even when Shaquille first met me. So at that point, I'd known Ahmed for months, and Shaquille again said, "You're too arrogant," and I go, I don't see as arrogant. You will never see yourself as arrogant. So I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, like, sometimes you just don't need to speak. Sometimes you don't need to do this or you don't need to do that. Do you get what I mean? And I was all right. And like they kind of took me under the wing, both of them. And obviously, when you come from the type of backgrounds we come from, we don't take stick from nobody. We
Mm,
grew up in the slums. I grew up in Aston, Bosley Green, Alum Rock, and Spark Brook. These are the the four worst areas in Birmingham. We don't take stick from anybody. If someone wants to say something, we're gonna say something back. It's taking that confrontation out of me. And like Ahmed always told me, is a mustard seed of arrogance. If you have a mustard seed of arrogance, you won't get Jannah. And he used to force that down me. Even look, I'm ashamed to say it, but before I started working for him, I wasn't praying as much as I wanted to be praying. I wasn't as close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as I wanted to be in life. And when we first came, it was one of the first questions they asked me is, have you read namaz? I was like, no. He's like, get up then, let's go. Mosque, every day here, every day there. And that's the best influence you can have in life.
Yeah, of
Forget the
course.
money, forget the power. Madeen. And that was Akhmed Yakoob for me.
Yeah, mashallah, because people see them and they see all the, the shouting and the loud noises and stuff that they're making, and they confuse it. But they don't realize that, they're coming from a place of sincerity and humbleness,
100%.
and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sometimes picks certain people to take that role. And I'm glad, you had some good role models above
Alhamdulillah.
you to, like, and spurred you on. And as you mentioned, uh, you had a bit of an idea of politics you were interested in before, and it's good to have like-minded individuals that you can learn from and help you grow and
100%.
prosper. And mashallah, you're 22 years old. You just got elected, bro, as a councillor, bro.
Alhamdulillah,
Mashallah,
alhamdulillah,
Mubarak.
alhamdulillah. Thank you, thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
thank
What
you.
did you let off some fireworks and put the dola and that was that? Yeah,
No, we had the dola, don't get me wrong. I never had a dola myself. The dola was brought to me.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that doesn't count.
Allah, Allah,
But we
Allah.
never had anything off. Obviously, my parents was a very big thing. Obviously, it's my parents' duas that got me here at the end of the day.
Mm.
Always with us, so I tell kids all the time. You could
Probably one of the
parents,
youngest councillors around, and
second youngest counselor.
second
Yeah.
younger. Oh yeah, there's that Somalian
Mansoor,
kid, isn't it?
yes, yeah, he's
Yeah,
19. So me and him are the
19.
two youngest in the council house.
Yeah,
Alhamdulillah.
okay. So when you go there, that how is it like, bro?
My
Going in with all these white hairs and old men, this time the other.
On my first day, the security asked me if I'm lost.
Serious?
Trust me, I walked in, I
No.
walked through the doors. Everyone else is walking past. Obviously, I don't have a badge. Nobody has a badge yet. We're newly elected.
Yeah.
Everyone's walking. The security's just watching. He sees me coming, walks up to me, puts his arm out. He's like, you came here, you lost. And I went, I'm an elected councillor. He goes, okay, then go upstairs. Customer. So I was one of the, I don't know if Mansoor wasn't there that day. So I was the youngest in the building. I got stopped, man. And I was walking with people as well, and people giving me Mubarak on this, that, which I don't bestie. Yeah, but it's good at the same time. Given people know at that table, they don't want to get too much into entanglement with you, like push the button or
Yeah,
say
yeah.
like, oh, you don't know what you're doing because I'm there because I know what I'm doing. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, you were elected by the people, innit?
Whether you're 60, whether I'm 20, we're in the same position. That's the way I see it. So as long as you put the work in, you put the mind in, and you dedicate to actually do the job, the rest will be okay. Like I always say.
So look, obviously you mentioned that alhamdulillah you're young. Obviously you are young, but you mentioned that you're in tune with the youngsters. You can understand them. You see what they're going through. Now I've been doing. You're 22 now,
Yeah.
mashallah. So I've been doing youth work since probably when you were learning how to ride a bike. Yeah, we were doing it for a long time now, right? I'm a lot older than you. You gave me double figures, put it that way, and me and Ahmed are the same age. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
So,
he looks young. I'd say you look young as well, though. But like, genuinely, I thought you're 28, 29. Wallahi, I thought he's 28, 29. Sitting here right now, I thought, Wallah, I thought you're 28, 29.
yeah, bro. Okay, you got yourself out of that, bro. But I look younger than Ahmed. Ahmed looks old, fam.
No, since he's gone bald, yeah, I'm telling you, he looks even younger. The tint is suiting him. The tint is suiting him.
But anyways, I've been doing it for a long time. You get me?
Yeah.
And I'm still doing it. I'm still there chatting to all the youth. Them, you get me? And we come from a lived experience background. So I want you to tell me, what do you think? You get me? The average young person, let's just say your age, who doesn't have maybe the right footing in life.
Mm.
What do you think? What challenges do you think he's facing that you can help him with?
So the children my age who, say for example, haven't had the education I've had, haven't had the experiences I've had, the biggest issue they have is the job market. The unemployment rates are through the roof right now, and the truth of the matter is if we don't find jobs for them, they will find money for themselves. That's the truth. Look, we all grew up. We all wanted things in life. We wanted the cars. We wanted the houses. We wanted the watches. We wanted the X, Y, Z, and we're at that stage where everyone knows the way you need money to get those things. We're in a time where people want to make the lazy quick figure and they don't really care. My biggest thing is genuinely is unemployment. We need to prioritize the employment. Look, like you said, you've been here for a long time, yeah. How many job fairs have you seen in Spot Broke? Genuinely, no one can. Everyone has the same answer. They
Yeah.
haven't. And how can we say that the number one most deprived area in Birmingham, the one where almost 60% of children are now living in poverty, deprived, man? And we have some of the lowest education rates in the country. I mean, in the city. How are we not having job fairs? How are we not giving these kids opportunities? And then turning around and going, oh, yeah, Jay, he's going to sell drugs anyway. No, he's selling drugs because you put him in a position where it's either he starved or he sold drugs, which is for
Mm,
some people. For other people, obviously, you're going to do it anyway. But some people, it genuinely is, they were forced to do it. Look, I'm a criminal lawyer. That's my background. I see some of these kids. I see some of these kids crying and saying, I had a guy who took a driving test. Why did you take someone else's driving test? My mom's disabled. My dad's disabled. I was the sole worker. And then I got disabled and he had some issue with his bones and he was bedbound for 6 months. He's got a younger sister to look after. And he goes, look, I had to do something. I'm not going to, I can't allow my family to starve. And that's the city we live in. Because the
mm.
truth is, look, like I'll just speak to a brother, you're starting a food bank. Allahumma barik, that's amazing. But people are scared to come to a food bank. People, you have sharam. People have, there are shame, the shame involved in
Mm.
this. Not people aren't always willing to put their hand out, which is why local businesses and local charities. I've had conversations with all of them. How can we do it in a way where it's accessible, but you can't open somewhere outside for drug therapy and expect drug dealers not to sit outside waiting to sell drugs because that's what's gonna happen. No one cares for anybody anymore. Everyone cares for themselves.
Mm. It's, yeah, lack of opportunities, but let's just say now you're living in a deprived area
Yeah,
and some guy does drive past you and he's driving a £50,000 car, for example. You're going to be interested in what does this guy do? 9 times out of 10, he's doing something wrong in it,
yeah,
right? So we do need to, you know, and the problem is the guys who do smash it, the guys who do it the right way, they move out. They go up towards Solihull sides, or they go up
yeah.
to Knoll or this
Hundred
place and that
percent,
places,
100%.
and then we don't see that.
Mm,
So we want to see those flashy cars around there, but we want to see them driven by guys wearing suits and ties. You get me?
100%.
Not by guys. You get me? Who have got trap phones
Mm,
next to their ears.
yeah.
So it's the sort of narrative that's been pushed. It's sort of the bravado that people see that okay, these guys have got clout, these guys have got cars, these guys have got money. What is it they're doing? Right? They're not doctors, fam. They're not solicitors. They're nothing,
Mm,
bro. They're hustlers, and they want to become hustlers.
yeah.
So right, we need to create more opportunities. You're right there, right?
But
So
it's
how are you gonna go ahead and do that? What are you gonna do?
job fair wise is I'm speaking to a couple of businesses. I am approaching people to see if they will like even offer 1 2 apprenticeships. So if you get 10 businesses there, all of them willing to offer one apprenticeship, you've got 10 students or 10 kids who lives are going to change now. But you've also got a bunch of people who see, oh wait, my friend down the road did get a job. I can also try and get a job. I can also, if someone else can do it, I can also do it. It's
Mm.
like saying the mindset is a lot of people are sheep. We need to make these people their own people to chase their own dreams.
So
And
what are you doing? Are you going to like businesses and telling them to
it's
open up some positions and
yeah,
that?
it's emails, it's networks, it's a lot of these things. So obviously, look, alhamdulillah, I do work for two very like people know them. A lot of people know them. A lot of businesses know them. So when it comes down to it, and these are looking to hire, or you know. Ahmed could sit there for an hour and probably phone 1,000 people and say, "Hey, any chance you got a job going? Any chance you got a job going? Any chance you got a job going?" Anything like that. Like there has to be a system to do it. Figuring out the system is the difficult part, but implementing it is the easy part. It's literally figuring out. Look, I've only had 6 weeks. It's impossible for me to know everything. But it goes back to your point, and like you said, these people who make the money, businessmen, they leave the area. But why would they want to live in an area where people are dumping the rubbish outside? Why do they want to live in an area where people can't look after their own
Yeah,
homes?
because they grew up waiting to get out in it. That's what it is. They never grew up thinking, okay, I'm gonna grow up and fix this area. They think I want to grow up and get out of
Yeah,
here.
I grew up here, and I said I'm going back now. I don't live here. I openly said it. A lot of people have asked that question. I said mine was I was going with my parents. I never had a decision where I lived in life, but I also knew that this was a place I called home, and this was a place that started going even more and more and more and more downhill. And if we don't come and do something about it, what's gonna happen? The poverty is gonna get worse.
Keep me posted about this job fair, yeah?
Inshallah.
I
If you
got
have any
50
opportunities as well,
I
oh,
got
you
I got 50 kids already ready, lined up, ready for work, bro.
hundred
I've been
percent.
trying for ages,
But
fixing up their CVs,
you
this, that, and
gotta
the other.
get them ready to do free work. That's the most
Mm.
important thing. Sit 3 months in a firm, sit 3 months in an accountant's place.
No, bro,
The
they're ready.
CV is what bangs. That's what
They
the most
are
important thing
ready.
is.
They are ready.
Mm,
They're saying we want a chance. Do you hear me? And I'm
yeah.
saying, inshallah, we're gonna pattern something up. I was
Inshallah.
speaking to some other local councillors as well, like the Lib Dems and this, that, and the other day. And they want to do a job fair
Mm.
as well. But listen, just a quick one. I just remember now since I mentioned Lib Dems, quite a few of these independents are done a dirty one in it.
If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
All right,
Nah,
don't
nah.
chat too much
Look,
about it. But I know, bro, they done a dirty one. Yeah, they took. He's not saying it, I'm saying it. You get me? They took they ran with the whole campaign and that, right? They jumped on the hype bandwagon, and they're saying they're gonna do a whole lot of stuff, and we're gonna stand as independents, and we don't agree with Lib Dems, and we don't agree with Green, and this, that, and the other, and they took the Muslim vote, and now they're saying they want to go and start a coalition with the Greens and with the Lib Dems. What's all that about, guys? I don't know.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
You got a comment on that?
yeah, I do have to comment. Look, as you know, I stayed opposition. I stayed out of it completely. And a lot of people even asked me why did I vote Conservatives when it came to picking who's going to lead the council. And I said, okay, it was either I vote for reform, not going to do that. I vote for Greens, I'm not going to do that, or I don't vote. If I don't vote, they're going to win anyway. There was still that small chance that we could keep both of them out. It was the lesser of all evils, and my hand was forced. Our hands were forced. If we didn't do anything, they got an automatic win. We had to vote, and the lesser of all three evils there, which I know everyone will agree with, is you'd rather have a conservative government than have a reform government or a green government. Obviously, look, they made their decision. I had conversations with all of them. I tried to keep them on board. They tried to pull me across. Obviously, conversations with their back and forth, but ultimately they did go across. So I hope that they do everything that they said they were going to do, keep their promises to the community, and make the communities thriving. But I also hope I don't see an abstain from anybody in the future, because if I see a single abstain on something that they should be voting against, that is something I will call out, I will name, and I will shame. And I said that to all of their faces. I said, if tomorrow a Green government decides they're going to decide and try and change the education in Birmingham, and it's something I don't agree with, and I say no, and I turn around and the people sitting around me are abstaining, the people will know. Social media will know, and the world will know that these are the people who abstained. Why did Ahmed Yakoob come into politics? Shabana Mahmood abstained from voting on the Gaza issue. It's the same way if these guys abstain, I will call it out. If these guys vote in favor of something, I'm going to call it out.
So what did they say to you? They said to you, "I'll come over and we give you
It
like a
was more
cabinet seat or whatnot."
no. I never got none of that, because I openly said I did not want to, and I said it's impossible for me to manage all of that work. Genuinely, I'd lose my head. But I said straight. They said come over, and we can get more work done, and we can work from within, break them from within, and
What were they doing? They're
change.
pulling you towards the green side.
Yeah, so they said we can make them change their policies. I was scratching my head thinking, how are we going to change their policies if we just let them take Birmingham? If the whole of the UK is still left, we can't make them change their national policies just for Birmingham. Okay, the rest of the country you're going to learn about that stuff. Birmingham now you're not going to. There's no chance that's going to happen. It's never going to happen. But ultimately, look, I got a phone call. I spoke to imams. I spoke to sheikhs. So it's not like I sat there on my own opinion. I did think about it in the sense of I'm still going to stay independent. Okay, but is it right for me to do this? Because it's bad if I just tunnel vision one way. You have to look at all the options. Spoke to people, read up on it myself, and decided it I felt like it would go against my man, and for that reason I stayed out of it. And
That's a bit raw, though, isn't it, bro? Come on, fam.
how do you think we feel? How do you think Ahmed feels? Forget anyone else. Imagine doing something, helping these people, starting a movement, and essentially you just stabbed them in the back. That's what it is. Look, at the end of the day, I'm sometimes forbidden from talking on this topic because, look, Ahmed's like a brother to me. He's a mentor to me. He's like, what you've done to him has annoyed me more than it's annoyed him. Trust me, I've sat there and he said, Rahan, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Allah will
No,
make
I
it
said the
happen.
same
And I
thing
said,
to
but you know what it is?
I said the same thing to Shaq. When I spoke to Shaq
Mm.
about it, I go, listen, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala separating, the true ones from the fake ones. You get me? This is like the cream rises in it, and the what is it? The bit falls, whatever, right? So the creme de la creme now, that's gonna stay there with you. You get me? Everything else gonna go. But this is just like a sorting period. You get me? The who's
Yeah,
genuine and who's not.
at least we found out in the council. Imagine we found out in 2029 when they're running a general and then half of them split. What do we do then? We've just
Yeah.
given up the MP seats at that point. So I'm happy we learned now. I just wish we didn't have to learn it in the
So
first
listen,
place.
you're in the fold now, yeah.
Yeah.
So you went. So were you in the council last night when they done the general election? When
The AGM on Friday.
yeah,
Yeah. That's where I
yes.
voted for the Conservatives to lead.
So who's now head of Birmingham City
Um,
Council?
It's Roger Harmer with the Lib Democrats, with Julian Pritchard, who's the Greens, as their deputy. The cabinet positions have been split between the Greens and Liberal Democrats, and two were taken by independent candidates. One was taken by Nosheen Khalid, and the other one was taken by Harris Kalik. And
And they were the main ones you gave me that were there, fam.
he said it, not me. But obviously, look, at the end of the day, Ahmed supported them. Look, we went dono ke for Nosheen. We pulled Nosheen out when she made that mistake. When she made that mistake of raising her hand, we put like not we. I'll say I did help obviously, but they Ahmed Shakir, they kind of put their back behind her and said, "Look, she made a mistake, guys. Like it's an accident, whatever, whatever." 3 weeks down the line, this happens, and you think to yourself, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. They made their beds, lie in them, but
Do you know what's going on, Hafiz Sab? Do you know what we're talking about? So basically, yeah, for the person who don't know, yeah, because you're not from Brahman, yeah, so you don't give a crap on it, to be honest, innit? Yeah. But the truth is, bro, so some mans, they says, bro, we're against these policies, right? We're against these policies, and you have to vote for me because I'm a Muslim and you're a Muslim, and we gotta raise our children over here, and we can't have these policies in place, and I'm your only option. You gotta go independent. And then they got the vote, and then they're like, you know what, these policies ain't too bad, you know. We can try and change these policies later on if if we sit here.
I got into an argument with one of them on Friday in the council house here. I'm not going to name who it is. And Reform, Jex Parkin gave a speech here. And his whole speech was about how some of the independents have lost their integrity and they're just lote, they're just jumping. Yeah. I started clapping. I was like, wow. You know what? The party I may not agree with, but the speech you just gave, what you said, yeah, I'm behind you. And they started asking me, one of them turned around and said to me, you know what that party feels about Muslim? How can you clap for him? I turn around and go, I'd rather my people not be in this country than they be here and be forced out of the fold of Islam. And that's the God's honest truth. And I was like, how can you say that to me when you're standing with people who are supporting what? Who are supporting what? And I said to him, I was like, you're a grown man. Answer the question, which one would you rather prefer? Then I got asked if I had any shame and this. And I was thinking, wow. Like, you know, when someone believes their own thing so much that they're blind to everything around it, that's what it is. Obviously, they're going to turn around and say, I feel the same way. But each to their own. I don't want to get in trouble because obviously.
No, it's not about getting in trouble, bro. Don't say that because you're an independent, fam. You hear me? You say what you feel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what I told all of them.
You say what you feel and you say what you think is best, bro. No one's holding your leash, fam. You hear me?
No one, yeah. 100%.
Exactly. So it's not about getting in trouble or anything like that, right? But I don't know. Inshallah, time will tell. Those people, you know, they got into politics because they wanted to make a change. They wanted to do a difference. I disagree with the way they went about it, but maybe, you know, time will tell. And Allah knows their true intentions.
Of course.
And we'll see what happens. But look, you're in Spa-Brook now, my G. So we're here in Darul Ilm, and I spoke to Shaq. Shaq says he's going to help us, and Shaq says he's going to call you down, and you're going to help us out. Right? So I understand you're only 6 weeks in, right? But this is going to be a project of yours, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah. So just so give you a heads up of what we're doing, right? So from over here, we've got a youth club, right, where we're trying to give the kids a positive alternative, right? Not only from violence and what's going on the streets and drugs and all of that madness, but also a healthier option than staying in front of the screens and, you know, ruining their minds and, you know, whatnot. And, you know, because you got two types of kids. You got either ones who are too active and they're outside all the time and they're getting up to madness, and then you got the other ones who are sitting at home and they're just couch
don't know
potatoes.
How to talk to a person.
They don't know how to have those skills,
social skills, nothing.
That type of stuff. You get me? They're victim to this pandemic that you have screens and social media.
Yeah.
Right. So there's those types of stuff. We got a youth club over here. So inshallah, keep that in your mind of how inshallah you can support us when you're having your conversations. We've also got, we're also representing the special needs community. We have a SEN madrasa, probably the only one in your constituency, my friend.
Okay.
Yeah? So probably the only one that I know in Birmingham, which has got an Islamic maktab strictly for SEN, autistic, Asperger's, Downs. You get me? We cater for people up and down the spectrum, but we are underfunded, under-resourced, right? And we're just trying to do the best what we can, inshallah, with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends our way.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, because the teachers, they teach with such zealous, they teach with such passion and such sincerity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been growing the madrasa. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up, bro. Yeah, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been growing the madrasa, you get me, from strength to strength.
Alhamdulillah.
But we can take any support, bro, wherever it comes from. We represent the deaf community, right? Every month we have a strict program strictly for the deaf community where the people can come in. Mufti Saab delivers a lecture. It is translated into sign language.
Yeah.
Then the deaf community, they're able to ask questions, right? Mufti Saab responds, right? Imagine a deaf person now going to a Mufti and the Mufti is asking, got a genuine question, you get me,
Yeah.
about Tahara, about Salah, about a fiqh of Zakat or anything. Where are they going to go and ask?
100%.
Alhamdulillah, we're one of those institutions now
Oh, my
where
barak.
they can come and ask, right? You've got the burden of your constituency on your shoulders.
Mm.
We're carrying the burden of the whole ummah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, inshallah, keep that in mind. I don't want to say too much, but there's one thing which is kind of pressing now,
Gee.
right? You know, I'm going to show you as we go out, and I want everybody who's watching this, inshallah, to be aware. We've got a flat roof over here. I've been trying for some time now to try and clean it up. Alhamdulillah, I've cleaned it up. I've done whatever I could, you get me, out there. But we need to deck it out so it can become accessible and an accessible area for our SEN community. So, you know, when the kids are coming in, inside the classroom, they can now go outside, right? And they have a sensory garden when they can explore different textures, plant, do stuff. We also have a program called Caring for Carers. So not only their children, but we also offer respite now opportunities for their families and their
Yeah.
carers. That once you drop your child off, for that, you
You
don't
can.
just go to sleep in your
Yeah. You
car,
can chill.
or
Yeah. You can do
you
this.
got a
Yeah.
place where you can chill, right?
100%.
Or even when you can sort something out for them, if you guys want to come in, have a cup of tea, a little space for you to come,
Mm.
create like a little network of carers so then you can, you know, support and lean on one
Inshallah.
another. So I'll show you that quickly now as we go out. I'll speak to you about the youth club and other type of stuff. But I went to Shaq. Shaq said he's gonna chat to you guys about it, right? And
Yeah, we could even do something like a fundraising day or something like. Look how many people came to Ackers. If we charge them all £1 each, you probably would have got £400-500. That's I'm just saying
yeah,
less
yeah,
small
yeah,
margins.
yeah.
A little bit of this and that. So
We gotta do
you've got
something.
the space. Let's put it to some use.
Yeah,
We'll
that's what I'm
make something
saying.
work. Even
Recently, we just done a
the
charity
grass.
auction.
How much of the grass is yours as a complete council?
What?
The grass,
No, that's all
complete
belong.
council.
No,
Is it
that's no,
one
that all
program?
belongs to Baisa, Anwar, brother Anwar,
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
BYSA
yeah, yeah.
Birmingham Youth
Yeah.
Sports Academy. But they're really good with us. But they let us utilize that.
Let's
We've
have
got the Ackers and stuff behind us as well.
let's have a football tournament.
Do you know what I
Let's
mean? So that's what I'm saying.
people pay
So
money for football. You know, people pay
that's what I'm saying.
money.
But you know, now that we've got a council involved, because bro, we're teaching books. You know what I mean? You think you're busy, you need to come and
No,
check
of
out
course.
one of
Yeah,
us, see what we're doing on a day to day. This is what I say, man's coming in saying, oh bro, we're busy. And I'm like, bro, don't tell me you're busy, fam. Yeah, because that's an insult. You get me? You're telling me you're busy. You need to look at my schedule. You
of
need to
course.
look at Mufti Saab's schedule. The guy's sat in here from 10 in the morning to 10 in the evening teaching Bukhari Sharif, Muslim Sharif,
Mashallah.
everything for
Allahumma
people
barik.
all around the world. Right, and on top of that, he's still trying his best to sort stuff out for the community, organizing fun days, organizing these SEN madrasas, breakfast clubs for the sisters,
Allahumma barik.
breakfast clubs for the brothers, doing all of this stuff. But this is your job, nanny, bro.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah,
counselor, you know what I mean? So you're getting paid for this, to do that. I understand you're still doing your masters now.
yeah. Mm.
I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes that easy for you and gives you
Ameen.
all the success
I've
in
got
your
one exam
chosen.
left, so
Yeah,
inshallah, I'm done now.
inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
Inshallah.
give you that. Obviously, don't give that up if that's your bread and butter. You know what I mean?
Always, yeah.
This is something, aside and it's something you're passionate about. So I just want to make sure you're here. I made Shaq sit there and he said the same thing. He said he's going to support us. He's patterned us up. He's put us in touch with the local elected councillor, mashallah,
Alhamdulillah.
22 years old, Raihaan Abbas. He smashed it. I hope, you're a vision of inspiration, inshallah, for the coming
Inshallah.
generation. Get them involved in politics. You mentioned something right at the beginning, and I'm thinking about it now, is that you were taught that you had to speak up if you wanted to say in your future, right? This was taught to you in school, and I wish you to pass that same message on to the other youth then, inshallah. You get me?
Inshallah, I've openly said it. I only want to do this for 2 terms. Yeah. Inshallah, I can win the next one as well. Yeah. But I want to do this for 8 years. I'm looking down the camera 8 years. When I'm 30 years old, I don't want to be doing this anymore because at that point you have to pass the baton on to someone who's this age. Because then we're sitting in the same position where a 40-year-old, 50-year-old is holding onto that seat for his entire life. No, I don't want that. I want to be able to the community, if it's here, let's say for example it's here, I want to bring it to here, and by 2030, yeah, by 2030 by 2034 bring it to here. After that I can step away. I know I want to find someone with me. Do you get what I mean? And just take him along with me for the next couple of years, guide him, show him how we're doing it, give him the same connections I've got, and then that way you've got helping someone to then take over from you, who's going to then pass it on to someone else, who's then going to pass it on to someone else. But that's the only way. But we've got to stop holding these power positions for so long. Honestly, give the youth a chance. You've given me a chance now, and inshallah, in the 4 years, I'm going to show you what the second youngest councillor in Birmingham can actually do for his city. And if that comes, then no one can turn around and say, "Oh, you're too young, you're too young, you're too young."
No, don't worry, inshallah. Obviously, I gave you a bit of a sticker right at the beginning, you gave me, but inshallah, anything you
No,
need
no,
from
no.
us, anything you need from us, you know what I mean, just come let us know, inshallah. You need a place to run an event from, right? You got this place, inshallah,
Inshallah.
right? You need to get mentors for any youngsters that come approach
Yeah,
you, inshallah, you know, send them through to us, inshallah.
of
And then
course.
likewise, hopefully once you get this job fair sorted out, we'll fill those seats for you, inshallah. We'll get
Inshallah.
those kids in there, inshallah, the ones that we're working with. Inshallah, I've met you here. I want you to come down to our other office as well, inshallah. I want you to meet Brother Adil as well, who's doing a lot of good youth work, mashallah.
Inshallah.
I
Yeah.
want to get you in touch with him, and then so you can see on the actual groundwork,
Yeah.
you know, what it is that we're doing, not only from here, from Darul in Birmingham, but also the other facets and stuff that we've got going on, inshallah, on the outside. Any final message either you want to give to your constituents, inshallah?
Please do dua for me. That's one of the most important things I say. I say I got here on the basis of my parents' duas. You guys keep giving me a dua, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will pave the way. But you have to be as proactive as I am. You have to take as much care as I am. Pick up your rubbish, stop throwing things on the floor, look after your neighbors, look out for the people on the end of your road, feed a cat, whatever you have to do. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, everyone forgetting that, like, for example, littering, like, people say that the earth is going to testify against you one day. People say you feed a dog, a prostitute fed a dog and got granted Jannah. Feed a cat, do something nice. We're not here for a long time, we're here for a very short time, and we need to make the most of it. And in making the most of it, remember that we can't just look out for ourselves. We have to look out for everybody. So let's stick together. Show people we're a community. I've had enough of this whole bottom of Stratford Road is Somali town. The top part is this. The top part is that. The middle part is this. No, you're all people from Sparkbrook. No one's gonna turn around and say to you, "What part of Sparkbrook are you from?" No one's gonna turn around and say anything like that. You're all Brummies. If you live down the road or if you live on the other side, it makes no difference. We're all from Birmingham. So take pride in where you live, and inshallah give us your support, but also get in touch. I offered transparency and I offered accountability. Phone number, email, everything you need. My socials are out there. It's not like I'm hiding from anybody. And inshallah we can say that we can do the changes. And if you have an idea of something that you can help the community with, you have an idea you can help the children with, you have any ideas, throw them our way. We'll see what we can sort out. We'll see what we can sort out, but let's do it together instead of just relying on me to do everything. Let's all do it together, inshallah. We got you who just
Inshallah.
offered your help, your services, your business. Imagine if everyone did that. Imagine if everyone was helping each other and didn't think, oh, my bijli bill's gonna go up to extra £20, my pani bill's gonna go up extra £50. You know, if we took that out of our minds and realized we're donating, Allah's gonna give back tenfold. Charity does not decrease
Yeah,
wealth.
stop the gatekeeping and you know,
You know
just
what I
come
mean?
out, inshallah, hold hands, many hands make light work, inshallah.
Hundred
That's the what
percent,
they say.
100%.
Jazakumullah khair for coming down. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take you from strength to strength, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It says that one of the 7 types of people who will be given shade under the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment are those people who spent their youth in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you're in a good opportunity to gain that. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you sincere and steadfast in that. And don't try and jump no ship here like some man's out there. Okay, guys, Jazakumullah khair for tuning in and watching an episode. I was your brother Ateiq. This was Raihaan Abbas, one of the second youngest councillor in Birmingham, the councillor for, was it Sparkbrook and
Borsal Heath East, but I have Tisley and Greet as well. It's a big word.
yeah, okay, Masha. Tisley, Greet, Borsal East. Where's Borsal Heath East?
East is Ladypool Road. You know, everything on the right side of Ladypool Road. So you're on Busy Road and so on, going all the way up to, you know,
To Stratford Road ends.
no. So you got on Busy Road. Imagine going every road up. So you got St. Paul's, you got Clifton,
Till
Brunswick,
where?
till the bridges, and until I forgot the road name is, man. I'm awful with roads. You know, Whitby Road and
Yeah.
all of those.
So
So that,
all the way up to Ladypool Road.
yeah.
All right.
And then on the left side of Ladypool Road as well, Stratford Road, from the bridge all the way to Ladana.
All right, one
Yeah,
day,
it's,
one
yeah,
day
it's
phone me,
massive.
and we're gonna go visit all those businesses.
Inshallah,
Yeah,
let's
I've
do
been
it
there my
together.
whole life, inshallah. Yeah,
Inshallah,
we're gonna
let's
go
do it.
in there. We're gonna chat to every single business owner
Let's see
there.
what
We're
they
gonna
can
say,
do.
listen, you gotta take on at least 2 people.
100%. Even
Yeah,
if something as little as cleaning, man, money's money.
trust me.
They say a £5 a cleaner makes is the same £5 a lawyer makes.
All right,
No difference.
all right, all right, all right. So, Jazakumullah khair for watching. I'm your brother Ateiq. This was Under the Pomegranate Tree. Inshallah, I'll see you again in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.